Hey YouTube, this is CDog2233 coming at you in my 2008 Subaru Legacy. I'm going to be doing a tutorial of how to get rid of that little fucker. There's already a video out there of basically how to do it, but honestly the guy didn't do a very good job. He kind of didn't do much detail. His video was all out of focus, and he basically verbally told you how to do it. I'm going to film basically the entire step-by-step of fixing the airbag light on this thing. And there is a lot of reasons an airbag light can come on, but it seems like from the years 2005 to about 2009, the Subarus had a huge problem. Error 26, I believe it is, on the airbag system. If you can get a scan, do not pay a mechanic anything for this, because they scam the living piss out of you, especially with Subarus, because Subarus have a lot of little finicky issues that are really costly to have a mechanic do. Just a week ago I paid $100 for a fucking gas cap because I didn't know what the error code for a small emissions leak meant, and I actually had to pay $80 for them to do a system scan when I already told them what the fucking code was. And now we're taking it to court. They wouldn't give me my fucking keys until I paid it, so I tried arguing that. But basically, the easiest way to tell if it is a error 26 is when the airbag light is on. Typically it'll come on when you got shit in your passenger seat, including a person. One telltale way, a lot of people don't do this, but they look up there. If this doesn't give an off or an on, it's definitely an error 26. If it just says pass airbag and doesn't give you an on or off setting. I couldn't tell you if it would deploy or not in the event of an accident. I don't really know. But basically it seems there's a fairly decent fix for it. I'm going to be attempting the method that was described in another YouTube video first, and if I get it again, I'm going to do again. You are going to need a soldering iron for this. I'll cut back when I'm about to start this project. I actually got some fucking Arby's I'm going to eat first. And I just wanted to catch it on camera because mine, like I said, it's really finicky, and it only happens sometimes, and it just happened to happen while I was driving tonight. It likes to happen when it's cold more than when it's warm. That's because it's basically a bad solder joint. When it's cold, the solder joint doesn't conduct the electricity, and when it warms up, basically the solder joint reconnects itself. So it happens most of the time when it first starts out. So yeah, I'll get back to you when I'm starting this project. Hey YouTube, okay, so we're gonna get started on this thing here. First step is to pop the light cover off, and to do that, you're gonna want a precision screwdriver, and there's two little notches here. Oh. You just kind of pop it down like that. Falls right down. Simple as that. Then you've got, I do have LED lights in here, so they look a little different than what you'll have, but next remove those two Phillips screws next to the lights. And I'm going to do that off camera quick. So once you got the screws out, next you're going to take a pretty good sized flat nose or something of that nature, and just kind of go along the edge there, and it should pop out pretty easily. Can't really say it took much. And then go ahead and unhook all the harnesses. And we'll check back once you pop all these harnesses out. Most of them have tabs. But yeah, you're going to want to get all these harnesses off. Okay. So I've gotten 3 of the harnesses off. They work best if you take your precision flat nose here and just push the tabs down on these ones. These aren't the important ones. These are just sunroof controls and whatnot. And then the last harness is this one here. It's wrapped in this weird gunk. So I'm gonna peel the red gunk off quick. But yeah, that's gonna be your next step. I made a little bit of an error. On this last harness, there's actually just a tab that's exposed already. So you don't actually have to take the foamy shit off. So then this should just fall on out once you get all those harnesses done. I've heard a few comments saying to disconnect your battery to do this. You don't have to. I mean, a lot of people would say it's best practice to disconnect it just because you are messing with the airbag, but unless it has a big yellow harness on it, it's really not necessary. It's not going to deploy an airbag or anything like that. In fact, well, I got my soldering iron warmed up. I'm going to show you how to get to the stuff. You're going to want to remove these two screws here. See if I can take out. Then we've got this little plastic piece, should just come off. And then we've got the culprit in this airbag light. This little blue, call it a circuit board. Yep, so you're going to have to remove the next two screws on the circuit board here. Okay. Once you do that, this little board here comes loose. As you can see, you got these are the lights that light up when the passenger seat is in use to tell you if the airbag's on or off. The resistors we're going to have to get to are on the back side here underneath this little piece of fabric. Just be careful, I'm going to stop and remove it with both hands. So I got that off, and what you see here are these 5, I don't know if they're resistors or what, but try and get in focus here for you. The solder joints on those resistors, I mean, let me try and get it a little bit more in focus here. Yeah, it's not liking it. But the solder joints do look a little rough. Reading on forums and whatnot, it is supposedly this R1 here, the resistor that says 511 on it. That's supposedly the culprit in this airbag light. So I'm going to get my soldering iron warmed up and I'll show you how to reflow these joints. Okay guys, I got my third hand set up so I can accurately solder here. And with this fix, you're basically just trying to reflow these solder joints. You don't want to use really any more solder than already is there. You just want to get it warm enough to reflow it. Turn it to liquid and then it turns back to a solid pretty quick. And that just basically reflows it so it can make a new connection. And it's supposed to fix this airbag error. So apparently one of these has a really bad solder joint in them. Ooh. And also watch out for the wires. That's tapped a wire. Go. So you really shouldn't need new solder. You're just trying to kind of reflow all these joints. So that's pretty much it. Hopefully the camera got that pretty well. But basically when you see it gets a little bit more shiny when the solder gets wet. And that means that the solder is liquid, and that's basically all you want, is to turn it to liquid and then let it go back to a solid. And basically that just reflows your joint. I'm just looking at it here. Let's see how these joints are looking. And they're all looking pretty good, but they look... Okay, YouTube, so on my first attempt of this, I cut the video. I just did a straight reflow, and the airbag light came right back on as usual. But I'm still pretty convinced that it's this error. So I'm going to try dripping a little bit of solder onto these joints. Holes where they belong, and start putting the screws back in. I did set my camera up so that I can actually use two fucking hands while I'm doing this. It's oftentimes now something to remember when doing this. Let's see here. It goes in like that. So if you look at it, these edges here are going to hook on, and then you're going to push the tabs, the straight tabs up. But first you've got to hook up the harnesses. There are 4 harnesses. I'm going to try and set the camera so that I can do this and the camera actually sees what I'm doing. Sorry if you can't see it. Hooking harnesses up are pretty fucking simple though. You just push until you hear a click. You got 4 of them. There we go. Finally the airbag one. There we go. Shocker, the airbag didn't deploy. I thought it was supposed to deploy when you fucked with a harness that isn't related to them deploying in any way. Okay. Sorry, had to be smart ass for a little bit there. As you can see, you just kind of hook it on there and push. Shit pops right back into place. Then you just got this little cover here. And this one, oh, you also got to look at it. It's got curved ones and straight ones. Straight tabs are actually along the side here, but it basically shows you how you're supposed to put it in. Don't just push. Push the angled piece in first, and then pretty much just the exact reverse of how you took it out. And I just realized that I fucked up and forgot about screws. But basically when you get in there, before you put this cover on, put the 2 black screws back into place. I'm going to go ahead and do that quick off camera. So on the 3rd time taking this damn thing apart, I think I finally got all the solder joints good. Right now the air light isn't coming on. I don't want to jinx it, but I'll go ahead and start it again. Started it about 5 times now, and the airbag light has yet to come back on since the final one. And over here it is displaying correctly, which seems to be the issue associated with it. So I mean, it looks like I finally got it working. The last 3rd time I took it apart, I did find basically the solder joint. The first solder joint I was trying to fix in the video that never really got that good. I got all that dark shit, all that flux or whatever shit all over it, and I think that was the joint that was causing the issues after the 2nd repair. First repair, I think it just, I don't know. But they are really finicky solder joints. I'll of course add a comment on the video if the airbag light comes back. If it does, I think I'm just going to buy a used one off eBay with a warranty. Because, I mean, a lot of people are saying some weird numbers though. I did look up how much an OEM one from Subaru costs, and it's $100 for the entire assembly, $100. So it's not a horrible one. It's a really annoying repair, but people were throwing like $600 out in some of the comments I read, that dealerships wanted $600 to fix it, and it's like, well, that's for the airbag scan. They're going to mark up the price. They're going to charge you for 3 hours of labor for 20-minute repair. But I mean, all you need to do, if you can't get the solder joints to work, is you just got to simply buy a new overhead thing here. The entire assembly is $100. Just Google OEM Subaru parts and click on like one of the top 5 websites. They all have the same parts for pretty much the same price. But yeah, I mean, it seems to be working. I know this is horrible for my starter. This is the last time I'll do it. And it, it disappears. I did my girlfriend come and sit in the passenger seat, and it does respond to it correctly. It switches to passenger airbag on. So, yeah, it looks like it's working. So, good.